What is up, everybody? I'm here with Minh X Dynasty, the one and only, and I think this is the first pod we are recording on AceTrader 100.
Really?
It's the first one we're recording, yeah. And I think I'm not sure it's the first we're going to show, but it's the first we're recording. But it is awesome to have you on here. I'm just going to give a quick overview of AceTrader because I think AceTrader is one of the coolest products we've launched at Memeland. The basic idea is it's meant to train people how to trade in a way where you don't have tons of money on the line, but the amount of money you can make if you win is huge. So it's you buy an entry, and if you do really well with that entry, if you trade, you can trade anything on Hyperliquid, and if you do well, we will fund you with Memeland's balance sheet, where what you can get. So if let's say you put in $10 or $100. Yeah, if you prove that you are a good trader, Memeland will give you $10,000 to $20,000, where you get to keep the profits. Okay, so you don't get to take that money home; you get to keep the profits.
But since it's a paper trade, how does Memeland eat in opening a fake trade? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, Memeland makes the money off people putting in their entries, so you have to pay an entry fee. You're paying money up front, which goes to Memeland, and if you trade poorly. If you're not a good trader, then you bust out and you have to buy again. So you have money on the line. It's limited loss. So if you bust out, then
it's like a $10 downside and a $20,000 upside.
Oh yeah, I mean you can get that fund on the upside, and I think to get 20,000, you probably have to put like $100 in, to enter. So
man, I can't do that now.
Yeah. So it depends. Like $10, maybe you get $1,000 on the upside, and you don't get to keep that money. What you get to keep the profits. So it's basically, and on Memeland's side, if you do well as a trader, then we get a piece of your profits. So we're trying to find good traders, and if you're a good trader, then Memeland's going to fund you. You get to keep the majority of your profits, and we get a small bit of the profits. So for us, it's kind of a win-win. I mean, we don't want anyone to lose. We want to find good traders, and then if you do well, then we get your profits as well. So that's the basic idea behind AceTrader. But to get this product launched, we are launching a tournament with 100 traders. It's called AceTrader 100, and there are going to be 80 people from the public, which is going to be a competition to be one of those 80, and we are picking 20 elites, 20 celebrities, 20 KOLs, and Minh is one of those 20, and that it's going to be a 100-person tournament, 80 from the public, 20 celebrities, top tier celebrities like Minh, and the winner of those 100 is going to get $1 million to trade.
Wait, like an actual $1 million?
You don't get the $1 million to keep. You get the $1 million to trade. So the $1 million. So let's say $1 million, and you get up 20%. That's $200,000 profit. That's the part you get to keep.
That's insane. Okay.
But we're giving you $1 million.
But if I 10x leverage,
the risk is if you go down 10%, if you take 10 and you go down 10%, then that $1 million fund busts. Okay.
Yeah, but if it goes up,
if it goes up and then you cash out, and you have to, it's not just like one trade though. The thing about all of this stuff is the way it's decided. It's not about just one big trade. It's about, can you show that you consistently can make money trading? Okay. So if you have one big trade, even if it's up 10x, like you need to show that you can make money day after day. And if you can do that, then you keep 80% of your profits. And that's kind of that's what this is. This is about a tournament, 100 traders to get $1 million fund. And we, Minh, you've been in this game for a while. You've been in the trading game for a while. You were one of the first people the team wanted to select for this. What was your thoughts when people asked if you'd be in the AceTrader 100?
That wasn't the question I was worried about. I was worried about the question, are you confident you'll win?
We'll get there.
I said yes. No, I was like, I don't know. When I first started in the space, wait, what do you go by? Sam Punk Stats?
Sam Stats. Yeah. NFT Stats was
what
the
do you
old
prefer?
Name. Stats is good when we're in this space.
Okay. Wait, are you editing this?
Yeah, we'll edit it.
Okay. Well,
no worries. Yeah. Or you can call me Sam. I don't care either.
I don't know. Like these last year has been like really wild because I remember just coming to the space as a complete noob. I was good at trading, shoes, cards, RuneScape items or whatever, but getting into the arena itself, like I never thought that I would be seen as one of the best. And I don't think I'm one of the best at all. I'll pretend and say I'm one of the fucking best, but I think I've gotten lucky a lot. I don't know. It's just confirmation of work, I guess. So it felt really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an interesting point, though, because people who get big in crypto Twitter, who do well in crypto Twitter, I think for you, this past year was just a huge year, just as far as your visibility. And I think when I think of it, I think of just someone who's authentically telling your story. It's like, you've done very well, and then you bring authenticity to your audience. And I think that's kind of a winning formula. What about you, though? When you look at this past year where you've really taken off as far as visibility and such, what do you think it is that got you there?
Well, at the end of the year, I looked at like the 1 year impressions with our team, and we didn't really look at like 100 million impressions or X amount of the main thing we looked at was the amount of posts per day, and that was the biggest thing that we were proud of. So I think it's just a culmination of consistency.
Yeah, and do you have that makes sense. I'm interested in what you just said, though, about how you started trading RuneScape cards and totally shoes and other things like that.
Yeah.
Do you think the principles of trading that is similar to the principles of trading crypto?
Yeah, I do. I tell this story all the time, but how I played Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments when I was 12 years old is exactly how I'm doing crypto Twitter now. When I was super young, I didn't want my parents to buy booster packs anymore because that shit was expensive. So instead of buying booster packs, my way to get more cards was to win tournaments, because you'd put in a $10 entrance fee or regional, and then you'd win like a box, which is $120 plus like store credit, right? And I also noticed the more that I won, the more eyeballs would be on me. If you're top 8, top 4, people will watch you. So in the moments between games, you can show off your binder and flip cards in between.
Wow.
So I think it's very similar. With Yu-Gi-Oh, I would see like inefficient markets. So since I was a player, I would see how players would soon use certain cards, and I would collect a lot of those cards for cheap from casuals, but give them fair value. And then in a month or two, since I knew the tournament scene, I'd be able to sell those for like 2x, 3x. So they're super similar, but very micro.
So it was just about spotting. I mean, was that spotting inefficiencies, or was that spotting kind of cultural trends as far as where the culture was going in that?
So I don't think it's inefficiencies. I think it was more predicting the future, or just seeing like the way the ball will roll.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. What's been your experience in crypto trading? Like, what have been your big wins? How long have you been trading?
I started trading 3 years ago because I understood the only way to continue playing this game like Yu-Gi-Oh was to make money playing the game. So I had to really, really learn. My biggest wins, my first big win, I'd say, was the Blur airdrop, because that allowed me to buy an engagement ring.
Wow.
So that was big. I made a lot of money because I bought it before I got married, and I was forced to hold it for like 2 months. So I came back and I wanted to buy some and I opened up my wallet and there was a lot of money in there, and I thought it was fake.
Wow.
My other big wins were ordinals. I was not super early. I was there with Mog and Pepe, so a lot of those early memes I did pretty good with. But yeah, ordinals. I had 35 pups.
Oh wow.
That I bought for like $300, so I did well there. And then meme coins, and then a couple perps trades.
What's interesting about those 3 trades, Blur, ordinals, whiff, is all of those had massive moments, and then all of those kind of fell off. So it sounds like your trading strategy is not about knowing long-term trends, but it's about spotting things and then knowing when to get out. Would you say that's
the knowing when to get out is not wanting to get my ass beat by my wife?
Okay.
Yeah. No, but to answer your question, what have I learned about trading in the last couple years. I think trading is like the biggest therapist and chance for self-reflection, because you go through all kinds of emotions and a lot of time it's alone, right? So you have to reflect, you have to see when you're on tilt, you have to see when you're emotional. So the biggest learning is like about myself and how I am as a person.
Wow. Yeah. What would you say are like name three things you've learned about yourself as a trader, or through trading, through your therapist of the trading?
Through my therapy, I think I have a very strong gut, but it's a double-edged sword. My gut is very good. It tells me like what to do, and I listen to it a lot. But because of that track record, I'm also overconfident. And so that does bite me in the ass sometimes. And so I just have to understand that the difference between overconfidence and true confidence is preparation and research. So I'm trying to add gut plus like the logical side together now. The second main thing, stats, is I'm very degenerate and I love dopamine more. And if I focus on winning more than the feeling, I can be a profitable trader. If I lean back into the Vietnamese blood, which is degenerate, I'll lose. And so after a big win, I have to chill. I have to relax. If I don't and I re-roll it, I'll probably lose everything and more. And then the third lesson, consistency sometimes is yes, no. It's not only yes, 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 yes. A lot of consistency is yes, no, 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 no. Yes, no, 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 no. That's also consistency.
Yeah. It's like quieting the FOMO in your brain that wants to put you into bad trades and being like, I'm only going to go for the hell yes. High convictions.
All your lore, what do you think about trading? What do you think about this space?
Yeah, I'm not a big trader. I have, to the extent that I've been successful, it's because I was an early Uber employee. That was like my biggest win. I was one of the first 50 employees at Uber. And when I came to the space, I've been more like in kind of like, I only want to own stuff that I can shut my eyes and not have to trade for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Which really limits your universe in crypto. Because so much of the stuff here is about identifying trends. I've been more into Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I
don't know. Sorry to cut you off. I just think that like in life, I've realized you do have to take actual big risks to be able to jump from where you were. And dude, you did that with Uber. You did that with Stanford. You did that super early on already. And you're still only living like your second chapter, third chapter of life. So I think you've made those super risky moves, like top 50, first 50 employees at Uber. That's like a big risk of spotting something early and betting your time and everything, livelihood there as well.
Yeah, that was the one big good, because I left Goldman Sachs to work there. So that was like, I was in my 8th year. I was a vice president of Goldman Sachs, and I left that to join Uber. I took a 70% pay cut. So that was a big risk.
Dude, that's a super risk.
That was a big risk, but that was also that is true. But as far as that was one big bet, but I think the bet
that's all you need.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm happy with where I'm at, but I think it's a different skill from what people out there who want to trade crypto. That's not going to win me the AceTrader 100. And this podcast about AceTrader 100. So I want to like focus in for our audience a bit on what the trading, like just the trading strategies are and what you learn about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, no, I've had some big bets that I made early on that have got me into this.
But you're the guy who like bet on AceTrader as a whole. That's you, while we're talking about AceTrader itself, I don't know.
For sure. Yeah. And you're cool. And I know, I sold my Uber stock when it was at like $30 and it's at $90 now, so like,
but that's not bad.
No, it's still a big win. A lot of people sold Bitcoin and made a lot of money when Bitcoin was at 30,000, and I'm probably doing just fine. But yeah, no, I definitely want to dig more on all that stuff though. Cause there's a lot of, I'm super intrigued by the role your wife plays, because on the one, it sounds here like she also kind of can get your greedy side to quiet down. She's like, man, we got money here. Sell that. and
Yeah.
can kind of that's how I heard what you were saying. Is
she actually doesn't tell me to sell.
Oh, so what is she will kick my ass if I don't mean?
I think the easiest way to explain that is through another story. During COVID, I was super depressed and I would play Warzone for 8 hours a day. She never asked me to play less. She would say, it looks like you're really passionate about this game. I knew you loved it. I knew you loved it growing up. Don't you want to do something with it? And then I became like one of the biggest Asian streamers in Warzone with that question. So it's more of like, she won't actually beat my ass, but I want to make her proud. Like she believes in me, and that gives me more strength to believe in myself. And I know what it means to win in crypto. Like to win, you have to actually press sell. You have to close trades. You have to finish the game, right? Because if you're just playing for 12 quarters and the game never ends, you can never see if you won or lost the game. And so I think she just acts as like a very strong mirror for myself.
Yeah. That's super. It's almost like there's a voice in your head that says, like, I guess it quiets that part of you that always wants more and says, let's take wins here. Like,
I'd rather win than have the feeling. And that's why I quit sports betting. I was addicted to sports betting for sure. I was profitable actually. And I did over $10 million in volume, but the amount of profit I made was not even close. Like if you're doing 10 million volume, that means you're watching a lot of games. Right. And that was that made me really sad when I reflected on that.
What sports did you focus on?
Basketball. I would just live bet stats. Like I would just live bet. I would see emotion. I would see fatigue. I would see, and it was just bad. And I thought I had an edge, and I think I did. But for how much time I spent, what a waste. But I'm glad I caught it pretty early.
Would you say you had like a 55% win rate?
I'd say like 65.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a lot of luck too. Like a part of that 65 was like really weird wins, like Pacers doing very well last year. So like that's not an edge. If you're like 55% plus 10% luck, and 10% luck can go the other way too, right? That's a horrible edge. That's just like, and that doesn't help my life. Like even if I make money, that's like counterproductive.
Yeah, I'm very interested in like the gambling epidemic in America. Gambling revenue, sports gambling revenue in October of 2025 was up 57% year on year versus the year before. Like they are shoving sports gambling down the throats of men in our country between 20 and 40 years old.
Yep. And I loved your response, your quote tweet the other day. I didn't mean for you to delete it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like the more you get to know, I love that. And I completely agree with it. And I was thinking about it, like, I do like taking risks. I do like being degenerate, but I just hate sports betting. And I love sports. And they just like, I think gambling is always a part of sports forever. Yeah. But it's just so accessible now that I really don't like it.
I mean, one of the things I just noticed in crypto is all about freedom. It's all about stop telling us what to do. And give us those. And I think a lot of the reason that like young men supported Donald Trump, it was like, we want like the freedom. We don't want a government that's telling us what to do and all that stuff. And I think right now we are seeing the downsides of that. That when you get too much freedom, it means there's a lot more people who become addicted to gambling. They like the lack of regulation sometimes means that con artists win. And sometimes I'm kind of pointing out that it's just not all black and white. And that's a lot of what I talk about on my feed, is how all this like desire for freedom kind of often means that the big guys, the venture capitalists, the guys who have edge win, and people who don't have edge lose. And a lot of my followers are the people without edge. So it's like something I'm pointing out a fair bit. And I think sports gambling can be an embodiment of that.
Because I remember, like,
you, or do you think I'm missing something?
Oh, it hell lands with me, because it reminds me of like a conversation we've had on Twitter back and forth during meme coin era. Because I loved meme coins, and you, for the most part, were like cynical and didn't like them. And I remember having these conversations on Twitter and be like, "Oh, it's fucking stats. He doesn't get it." Like, but then I'd like chill out, take a walk, and I'd be like, I completely understand what he's talking about. And I think vice versa. And so I completely agree with you when there's obviously no black and white. There's a lot of gray. There's probably 80% gray in like 10-10. But yeah, I don't like sports betting. I don't like how easy it is to gamble. And I think in this day and age, you have to take risks, but people conflate good risks with bad risks.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a great video about that. My kind of view on meme coins is that it is true that it is the only place that you can go from $1 million token to $200 million token in one day. Like the opportunity to make tons of money is there. And I think that's real and something that if you do it right is a crazy opportunity. But at the same time, most people lose. And you have to, because you need to know when you get out. And the people who ultimately win are the people who are good at creating this illusion of value. And you just got to know where you are in that kind of like skill hierarchy.
Yeah. Okay. Bouncing off of that, I think it's the people who win the most are the ones who truly believe their delusion. Because if you don't believe it truly, there's no way you hold past like a 2-3x on meme coins. You have to truly believe that delusion. And then paired with that, you have to have this switch between being super left curve, turning off your brain, and then coming back to reality. If you can do this switch, plus when you're on this side, you have this undeniable belief in this vision, you can hold 100x. So yeah, it's a wild space.
For sure. Well, these are all things out on. I want to talk about more, but for this show, we got to focus on the product. So no, I'm going to get at that. I'm going to give you like rapid. Let's do. I'll introduce this in a second, but okay, here we go. Let's do some rapid fire questions about AceTrader and about AceTrader 100. Do you think your strategy as a trader will be different for this tournament because you're kind of in a tournament format as opposed to trading your own book? How do you think that changes things?
Well, the tournament is time based, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would think of it as just poker. At the end of a 2-hour window, I have to be the one with the biggest stack. So that's how I'm thinking about it. It might mean that I bust early, but at the same time, like if you look at the poker tournament from last year with like Ansem, Thread, and Frank and those guys, I was super aggressive and I kept busting like 5 times. And then, but with that aggressive style of play, I was able to rack up like a 60K pot in like pretty short amount of time. So probably something similar to that.
Side question, just because I want to know, what were the economics of that night? I remember that. What were the economics for each participant? Like as far as...
So I'm not a poker player, so I might answer your question completely wrong, but buy-in was 5K. Is that answer? I don't know.
Yeah, so just buy-in was 5K and you could buy in. Okay, cool.
Yeah, buy-in was 5K and people could buy in like unlimited amounts until a certain time.
Okay, cool. What when you think of yourself, what do you think is your biggest edge in this tournament? And if you do poorly, what do you think is your biggest weakness? So what's your strength that's going to make you do well, and what's something that might hold you back?
Biggest strength is my confidence in my ability to take risks. Biggest downfall is my confidence in my ability to take risks. Love that.
Let's say you win. Let's say you get $1 million. How do you think what do you when you win? What do you think having $1 million of someone else's money to trade? What would that be like? And what do you think that's going to be like in terms of strategy and in terms of mindset?
I've never managed other people's money. I think that's really scary because I don't want to let others down. But I think I'll perform good. I think I perform well. When I'm public with things, I really, really focus on winning because the dopamine of credibility and validation online and publicly outweighs my love for dopamine internally. So I think I'll do well.
I see two things there that I think make you successful at the game you're playing as a streamer, as kind of like a guy on crypto Twitter. One is that dopamine for like, it's almost worth more to have people think you're doing a good job and trust you and respect you than for your own self. And two,
it's great. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, it's probably like kind of just a trait that people in this space have. But the second one is that you really care about not losing other people's money. And that's going to lead you to be the most authentic person you can be online. And in a space that's got so many people who are scammers and very comfortable losing other people's money and taking their money, like you're someone who's like, no, I actually care more about their money than anything else. And that's going to lead you to your reputation.
Because I love money, but I love peace and freedom way more than money.
Yeah. So I would say from my account, like there's no real dollar value that would make me want to like destroy my reputation. Like it's just, that's just not the trade-off I was raised on.
10 million?
10 million? No. I mean,
20?
I shouldn't say that online. How about you? What's the number where you would?
I can make all that money by myself. I don't need okay.
That's the key. If you know you can make it being upright, then why would you waste your time?
Yeah, like it might be slower, but I don't want my wife to beat my ass. Dude, that's scarier than any amount of
Oh man,
I love my wife is like the nicest person. I don't even know why I say like she'd beat my ass.
What I'm hearing you say is that you love your wife and you just want her respect, and you focus on that all the time.
Yeah, dude. She's like my best friend, dude. I want to make her proud, and I want to make myself proud.
And I love the way I knew that about you just from the way you tweet or from the way you post. Like,
oh really? Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. When I think of you, I think like your respect for your wife, your love for your wife is something I think about, because I think that's just subtly been on your feed for a long time.
Really? Yeah. Thanks. She's awesome.
That's cool. Dude.
Okay, more rapid fire questions about trading.
Let's go. Who is some? I'm 10 years married, so like you hit your 10-year anniversary, you start thinking about this stuff a little bit more.
Congrats! That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good, man. We're doing good. Who is someone you would like to compete against? Who's a trader out there you think would be, if you beat that person, you're like, damn, I'm a stud.
If I beat them, I say I'm a stud.
You're like, I want this person to be in the tournament because they are awesome, and I'm going to win the tournament, so that's going to just raise my credentials.
Well, fuck, it's got to be Mando, because I really respect him.
He's in.
I don't know if I can beat him because he's really good at trading micro. He sold all those he's good at micro. He's good at macro. He's very level-headed. He's a demon. So,
damn.
I don't know if I would try my best to do my best, and if the result ends up beating his result, that'd be awesome. But yeah, he's insane.
He is insane. Yeah, I mean, we got him on the tournament. In the tournament,
oh, really?
Yeah, he's in. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast with him soon. Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, I know. I love Matt. He's a great trader, and he's a good dude. And he comes from a macro background, so he's kind of got it all.
Yeah, he's a demon. When I first was learning about the space, I read all of his stuff, and I still do.
Yeah, no, he's the GOAT for sure. What advice would you give to people trying to get in that 80? Because anybody can join. Only 80 are going to be selected from the public. We know your strengths and weaknesses, but what's something you would say to someone else if you want to do well, get to that 80 and then win?
Yep.
Let's hear some advice.
How is AceTrader looking at choosing the 80? Is it purely P&L? What is it?
Yeah, we're numbers people.
Okay.
Facts, not feelings, man. Facts, not feelings. We want to know how people what their numbers are.
Okay. So in that type of tournament, it's about balls to the wall and speed, actually. So honestly, I would just open up 10 accounts and go balls to the wall on different trades, and hopefully one or two of them hit.
Are there tokens that you think you're going to be trading? Like, you can trade anything on Hyperliquid. So what do you think are the ones you're going to focus on?
Okay, Hyperliquid, huh? If I'm going super aggressive, I'm probably thinking of things that have more volatility, where I can stack a quick P&L pretty fast. So probably stay away from majors. I would look at things depending on the time of things that are very top of mind when it comes to CT and are being traded both up and down. Like Zcash was a great example, both sides. But yeah, I would look at things like that. Things that have volatility, have a lot of noise, and have higher leverage for like how low that market cap is. Yeah.
I think the flip side to the stuff that has more volatility is I think you can get more leverage on Hyperliquid on Bitcoin. Like if you're trading, you can get like 50x. So you get, and that's the same thing with AceTrader. You get more leverage at your disposal based on where Hyperliquid allows leverage. So that is.
But there's certain coins. okay, for example, one of my best perp trades was shorting a lot of the Binance ecosystem when Sexy Red posted an AI photo with CZ. I was like, that has to be a local top. And that was a couple days before 1010. So.
And did you get your money out? I feel like a lot of people who had trades.
I shorted.
But a lot of people, I know, but even people who shorted on 1010, I feel like the platforms just got so disoriented and were so volatile.
I shorted on 10.8 though. So I was already in good profit.
Okay.
And then it just went like that. Yeah. So.
Got it. So you were able to get
nothing got liquidated. I didn't get wicked out. Yeah.
You didn't get wicked out in anything. Yeah. That's awesome. How has your style, now that you have like built a bit of a bag and you have a stack, how has your approach to trading changed?
My approach to trading stays, well, I'm way less aggressive. I'm much more patient. I'll take like maybe 1 or 2 trades a month now. If I take more, I'm probably over trading. So being more patient, going slower, increasing my field goal percentage. And then with the rest of my capital, I've been working on just putting in really slower things.
Yeah. So stuff you want to hold longer term.
Yeah. Hold longer term, diversify outside of crypto. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And I can't talk to someone who has killed it in this game without bouncing out a little bit with a horror story. What's a trade gone wrong? Give us a story or two about places where you crashed out.
Oh man. Okay. Fine.
To the extent you're comfortable.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So one of my best trades was this coin called BOEM. I was very deep inside of like the Bitcoin / Pepe world. And so Dark Farms, who was the artist behind BOEM, was someone that I knew of. I didn't get into the pre-sale, but when I saw it come out at 20 mil, I wanted to buy a lot of it. And so I bought a lot of it. And I held that thing from 20 million all the way to 1.1 billion. And it was a perfect trade in 2 days. I made like $400,000 from that. But the worst trade of my life came right after. There was a game that came out, and this was during when people were farming this ecosystem called Blast. And I'm pretty new into crypto, so I've never played a DeFi game. And so there was this game called Crypto Valleys, which was so cool to me, like pixelated farms that like you could roll. There's degeneracy. The graphics look good to me. There's community involved. There's a token involved. And I put all $400,000 into Crypto Valleys.
So you sold them. Book of Meme. I remember those. That was like NFTs.
Yeah, it was a perfect trade. Perfect. One of my best trades.
I loved it. Yeah. You got
one of my best trades. Yeah. And I've learned that my worst trades are usually right after my biggest trades.
I love that.
So now I would just take everything out, relax, not buy any. Actually, my best buys were like if I'm buying NFTs after big meme coin trades. But yeah, my horror story was going from $400,000 to $10,000 with Crypto Valleys, and then only getting like $2,000 from farming from that.
Yeah, I mean, Crypto Valleys was a disaster, and I mean, a lot of big players who were not spending fast money lost real on that one. But that's a great lesson, and it's one that I tell a lot of friends. Like I have a good friend who made a huge amount of money on a private deal he did. He like put in $5K and got out like $500K, and he called me. And I said, the one thing you got to do right now is don't spend any of it for a month. Just get used to it.
True.
It might be, if you want to, here's what I would do. Send a little bit to your parents. Send it. Don't create a little scholarship. Take 30 grand out and give a scholarship, $10,000 a year for 3 years. Like, because what happens once you get money is you get used to it. And I think you want to do the good things like the charity, that type of stuff. It's great to do when you're just doing a small, but get used to having it. Because right now it's not real and you're going to put it all into something else and you could lose it all. And
I think the car.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. We'll have to talk about that next time. Anyways, I know you got a hard stop here. Thank you so much.
I can go another 5 if you want. But
okay, cool. Yeah. I think there's, I mean, you and I could talk for 2 hours. Like, I think there's, I mean, we could talk for a while about Blast. We could talk about BOEM. We could talk about NFTs. We could talk about Azuki. We could talk about elementals. There's so much stuff that we've both kind of had parallel tracks for the same narratives for. But thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for being part of AceTrader 100. Thank you. You know, I'm going to remember from this conversation kind of comparing the world of cards that you were playing and how that has paralleled with your content creator arc. I'm going to remember how your wife took this kind of degenerate habit with you, and instead of telling you to stop, she said, what can you make of it? She wasn't trying to change you. She was trying to build you on what you were doing, and how that created a whole path for you. How kind of like having someone else in your life is kind of like a forcing function for you to want to be successful, and just kind of the overall authenticity that you bring to the game. Those are all things that jump out at me when I think of this conversation.
Thanks, Sats. I really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure to talk to you finally in person, well, over video, and I hope to do a lot more of it. But thank you for everything you've done as well.
For sure, man. Any places people can find you, and if people want to get to know your content, because I feel like you got your hand in a lot of jars. It's not just like the crypto Twitter game. Like you've got other communities you're part of. What other worlds do you occupy? Where should people get to learn more about you?
Well, people can find me at the top of AceTrader 100 holding the trophy.
Okay. All right. So everyone knows exactly where to find Minh. Top of AceTrader.
Yeah, I'm excited for a follow-up conversation, Stats.
For sure. So Mando, you heard it. Minh knows you're in, and he says he's going to get the trophy. Let's see what happens here.
I'll try my hardest, Mando.
All right. You don't got to water it down. We heard it. Yeah. All right. Cool, man.
Bye, bro. Thank you.